There might be a situation brewing over at American Express. We're seeing a ton of deals for Amazon Prime Day, and one of the best S-tier cards is getting nerfed. This and more in today's credit card and points roundup. Before diving into everything, big favor is to give us a thumbs up to help with the algorithm, especially for the first story. That way people see this and don't get scared. If you are new to the channel, then consider subscribing. Okay, so first up, we have a huge update to American Express. But maybe not. Mark did a video talking about his recent experience, and Ben ended up doing a similar video. The gist of the videos being that tax payments might not count towards minimum spend for intro bonuses. The rationale being that these are not purchases, but more cash equivalents. This whole situation was further compounded by customer service reps that are part of American Express's chat team. I'm personally hesitant to call this a new rule until we see more data points, but let me know what you think. Historically, one of the problems was intro bonuses, sign-up bonuses, not being attached to cards right away. This would lead to some payments not counting for minimum spend. The main takeaway being that virtual cards are problematic and that you should wait for physical cards. Also, that customer service reps are not infallible and can make mistakes. In Mark's case, it was a bit different because early tax payments were fine while recent ones were not. In this case, it meant that it wasn't a virtual card issue, but more so something to do either with the tax payment or the type of transaction. If you look at this logically, it does kind of feel like Amex instituted a new rule, especially because the reps are also adding to this. With that said, there's 5 reasons why I'm hesitant to announce this as a new rule or thing, at least for now.
This was one of those no lifetime language offers.
Number 1, Mark mentioned that he applied using an NLL offer, so a no lifetime language offer. In the past, these have been more problematic and sometimes even related to shutdowns, especially if you end up using one that was not intended for you. It also might not be nefarious, it might be using a player 2's link. Also, not saying that Mark did that, but just the fact that you want to be more careful around no lifetime language offers. Number 2, this could easily be something to do with the payment partner. For Mark, the first one, which was pay 1040, worked and that was fine. The second one, which was pay US tax, did not work. Is there a situation where maybe the second one did some updates and that caused it to code differently? Number 3, there are a ton of data points that said that they paid taxes and it was fine. The obvious argument against this one though is that those might be older data points and that this might be a new rule. For Mark's data point, we're looking at transactions from mid-June, June 14th in particular. Taking a look at the comments, Anthony did this recently and it was fine. I'm on the same page as Mark here and curious about the tax payment site that was used. Over on Reddit, payments from June 5th seem to have worked. Also, apparently tax payments as of late June with physical cards. Number 4, and the reason that I'm most doubtful is their marketing. If you search your Gmail for by the numbers from American Express, you'll see a bunch of emails. My most recent business one is from May 11th, 2023. Right in the top section of Add Employee Cards, they have a section saying that you can earn rewards by putting IRS expenses on your card and using Pay USA Tax, Pay 1040, and ACI payments. So on the business end, as of May 2023, they are actively promoting this. Okay, but the new change happened on June 14th, so that old stuff isn't valid. And yes, this is a clean shoe. My most recent personal card by the numbers was June 20th. Towards the bottom of the email, they have a similar advertisement saying that you can earn rewards on your tax expenses. And again, here they list ACI payments, Pay USA Tax, and Pay 1040. I'm not saying that it can't happen, it's more so that it's just a giant departure and U-turn from their prior stances. Also, the fact that American Express is a gigantic company and there's probably a lot of red tape, so anything customer facing, like a newsletter, has a lot of steps. If they knew that they were going to not let you earn points from tax payments, they probably would have removed it from the newsletter at least 3 to 6 months ago. Number 5, lastly, is the fact that we've seen this a few times. So here's a data point from 4 years ago in 2019. This was a post by Big Duddy. Amex says that the tax payment was not an eligible purchase. I don't see anything in the welcome offer or online saying that taxes don't count. I talked to 2 customer service reps and one of them told me that there's nothing they can do and that taxes are ineligible. This was back in 2019 and since then we've seen a ton of successful data points. Looking for data points in 2020 and 2021, I didn't see any complaints. One thing to consider is that reviews and online complaints are not evenly distributed. Think about how many people might have done tax payments and have it work, but not really report on it because it didn't seem like something worth talking about. Same thing with restaurants and Yelp reviews. Most people complain about a bad meal and something that they did not like. At the same time, they generally don't bother writing a review for good or mid meals. Last summer, we saw the pop up again. The rep that I was talking to said that since it is not a good or service, it does not count towards the spend. This is contradictory to what I was told before signing up for the card, where I explicitly asked a representative if it would qualify. Over on Flyer Talk, someone else ran into this issue as well in August of 2022. Note that this was for a no lifetime language business card. After that, there were a bunch of successful data points and not really any complaints. Main takeaway, I'm leaning towards this being bad luck, wrong merchant code, or virtual card technical issues, or maybe having to do with the no lifetime language rather than it necessarily being a new rule. Best bet is to do some small test payments with the card that you want to hit minimum spend with and see whether it works or whether it works towards that spend. Also, don't wait until the last minute to do the spend, do it earlier in the timeline. If you want to super de-risk, make sure that the payment that pushes you over the edge for the total minimum spend isn't a tax payment, because maybe that's the issue. Would love to know what you think about the situation and what you think is going on. Maybe I'm crazy and underreacting to this. With that said, if you do want to learn about cards, whether American Express or some other issuer, we do have links on the website, asksebi.com, and also down below in the description box. Make sure the links are competitive, that the cards make sense for you, but otherwise, using those links is a huge way to support the channel, so thank you guys in advance. Moving to the deal section, today is Amazon Prime Day, and we're seeing some pretty decent deals. I'll link to them down below based off the order we talk about them, and I'll try to pin any other interesting ones that pop up. First up, if you don't have Prime, new members can try Prime for free for 30 days. You can cancel afterwards, so pretty easy way to participate in these deals. If you're looking for an Instapot or air fryer, there are a ton of options and even ones that are sub 100. Probably one of the best purchases we've made and has saved us a ton of time. I don't mind the big oven, but for a lot of things, it takes a lot longer to heat up. There also are Breville espresso makers, and it's been one of my favorite purchases in the past few years. I probably use it 3 to 5 times a day, but your mileage may vary. If you want a Vitamix or other blender, there are a ton of options available. We personally have a Ninja that Mandy probably uses 4 to 5 times a week. If you're a fan of Dysons, they do have a bunch of vacuums and fans that are on sale. If you have a player or two that has long hair, I'd recommend avoiding the cheapest option and going for the animal version. And yes, I'm speaking from experience. I'm personally looking to get a bunch of these since I need more plugs. For electronics, Bose 700s are on sale and pretty good deal. These are a bit bigger and don't fold up like the QC35s, so be careful if you are looking to travel with them. If you're looking to capture your trips, there are a bunch of cameras on sale as well. If those look a bit too intense and you want something a bit more straightforward, I'd recommend going for the ZV-1. Super beginner friendly and one of the most straightforward. It's the one Mandy uses for her vlogs when she decides to do one every quarter. Amazon links down below, and let me know if you find anything else cool. The last topic is going to be Citi aggressively nerfing the American Airlines Executive Card. In the past, this was one of their S-tier cards, and for one main reason. You're paying a $4.50 annual fee, but you could add up to 10 authorized users for free, and they would have access and entry to Admiral Club lounges. We're seeing the card get a complete overhaul and be substantially less powerful. Starting July 23, 2023, the annual fee is going to increase to $595 for the main user. It's going to be $175 for the first 3 authorized users, and then $175 for every subsequent user. Pretty much a direct copy of the American Express Platinum and how they treat annual fees. This by itself knocks it down from S tier in my book because that was the main draw of the card. So I'm not in an American Airlines hub, but I can see the power of the card. One argument for the annual fee increase is the fact that access to Admiral Club lounges is getting more expensive across the board. And all of this is independent of the card. So Admiral Club lounges, the purpose of why people get the card, is increasing by itself. For one-day passes, visits before July 23rd are only $59. Afterwards, with this new change, it's going to be $79 per visit. Pretty much a $20 increase or 34%. A bit more complicated with the dates for memberships, but the same idea. Before the change, the price of an annual membership for one person as an individual without status is $650. If you have status, if you want to add your whole family, then prices either increase or decrease. With the update, the prices are jumping up to $850 before status. That's a $200 increase or 30.8%. Obviously, annual fee increases suck, but this is increases in fees across the board. My guess is that there's more people traveling right now, too many people in the lounges, so they want to weed those people out. Price increases tend to be the easiest way to do this. On the card end, to account for the annual fee increase, they are adding up to 316 credits for things like Avis and Budget, Grubhub, and Lyft. So in theory, $595 minus 360 is a $235 effective annual fee, which is arguably better. At the same time, some of the credits are a bit more questionable. Avis or Budget one seems fine, but maybe a bit annoying. Main argument against it is that a lot of people would rather use the Chase Sapphire Preferred or Sapphire Reserve because of primary CDW. Grubhub one can be fine for some places because prices might be the same. The big annoyance though is for people who have a lot of cards because now you have more credits and these aren't even easy to use credits. So at least with the Chase Sapphire Reserve and even the American Express Bonvoy Brilliant, you have general, broad dining credits that you can use anywhere rather than a specific vendor. The most questionable credit is going to be the Lyft one, where you have to take 3 rides to be eligible in order to get a $10 per month credit. Number 1, requirements for a credit feels dumb to me. And number 2, you kind of already get this. If you have a World or World Elite MasterCard, then you actually get a $5 credit as long as you take 3 Lyft rides a month. In this case, it's only $5 more and still pretty annoying. The crazy thing too is that I'm the prototypical Lyft rider who lives in San Francisco, doesn't own a car, and actually uses rideshare. And even then, I think I'd struggle to hit 3 rides a month for specifically Lyft. One of the big problems is that you have so many options now, so you have 4 and 2 self-driving ones, and in most cases, I tend to use Uber more than anything. Nothing against Lyft, but they're the one that I pick when it's the best price. One benefit is that they are increasing the multipliers for the card, but for most people, it probably doesn't matter. It very much feels geared towards either people that travel a lot, people that spend a lot of money, or consultants. Consultants tend to travel every week, so they have decent spend. You can also get status a lot faster of loyalty point bonuses, but also not for everyone. That's not necessarily saying that the card is bad in its current incarnation, but more so that it's different. In the past, it was a family card that was kind of a superpower card, and now it's more so geared towards solo travelers and maybe a solo family. If you're someone that was going to buy Admiral's Club membership, then this is actually cheaper, so still makes more sense. If anything, I'd say that this is a reminder to enjoy your cards, get the intro bonuses, and use the perks. I think a lot of people look at cards like tools where you want to find like the perfect one or something, and you're constantly waiting. And that might make sense for knives where there's not really much innovation or changes to it. I treat it more like a GoPro or any other tech tool like a camera, where you know it is going to have a useful life and eventually probably change. We even saw this happen with one of my favorite cards, the Better Balance Rewards card, where I had a bunch of them. Does that mean I regret getting it? No, because it's a no annual fee card, and I was making $500 a year just by holding it and doing monthly transactions. Again, if you want to learn about cards, we have links on the website, asksabby.com, and also down below in the description box. If you made it to this point in the video, then leave a camera emoji in the comments down below, and I'll try to heart it and also respond. 3 questions for you guys. What are your thoughts on the Amex situation? What are you picking up for Amazon Prime Day or anything at all? And number 3, what are your thoughts on the Citi American Airlines executive card change? Let me know and everyone else know in the comments down below. Big favor, give this a thumbs up, consider subscribing, but otherwise hope you guys liked it. See you guys next time.